Sir Alejandro Andaman, Ms. Susan Ament, the IOTC Chairperson, Christopher O'Brien, Executive Secretary of the IOTC, Rani Kumudini, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Fishery Development Board, India, heads of delegations of 26 countries who are represented here, your teams, my team from the Fisheries Department and the various fishery departments across maritime states in India. Good morning and namaste. I'll take a minute to say what namaste really means. Nama, broken down, is I bow, sir is me, and te is you. I bow down to each one of you. The good in each one of you is what a namaste says. As I welcome you to Hyderabad, the city of pearls, for the 23rd International Conference of the IOTC, I wonder if I need to tell you whether Hyderabad is not merely famous for pearls, but also a Charminar, the mosque with 4 minarets, for diamonds, and for the very tasty biryani, which I hope you will get to have soon. But I'm told most of you have not been outside this particular venue. We will ensure that you see more of Hyderabad while you're here. Fisheries, ladies and gentlemen, plays a pivotal role in the economic development of all maritime nations. The fisheries sector contributes as a foreign exchange earner, ensures nutritional security, and generates employment opportunities across the globe. In India, the fisheries sector is recognized as a sunrise sector with a lot of scope. The sector is providing livelihood to over 15 million people in the country, which includes some of the poorest of the poor, because their catch, the catch of traditional and artisanal fishermen, is normally not more than 7 to 8 kilos a day for each venture that they go out for. Barely enough for subsistence. I stand here today and I see a host of different nations. We come from different areas, we come from different cultures, different regions, but with one aim, one objective. And the objective is responsible and sustainable management of tuna and tuna-like species in the Indian Ocean. A pledge that we made way back in 1996 is somehow slowly finding its way, but I feel we need to actually give it a newer thrust. When we, in 1996, in fact, is when we started the IOTC, before which India, along with some of you, was a founder member. The objectives we set before us were the objectives of the FAO. And the objectives, as I see it, were mainly also replicated in the Sustainable Development Goals adopted in September 2015 and which came into effect in January 2016, which internalized the value of regional cooperation and with an emphasis on the word cooperation. When we look at coastal states around the Indian Ocean, we see different levels of development. Some of us are able to stay on the high seas with ships which are much above the 24-meter size and are almost like factories which fish tuna and then convert them into small cans of processed tuna, while some are not able to even access that. India falls into the latter. We have an exclusive economic zone which is about 2.02 million square kilometers. 30% of our economic zone, for example, the EEZ, is around the island territories of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep. Of this 30% EEZ, we have barely harnessed 1% of the potential. In fact, our scientists have clear indication that tuna, and even yellowfin tuna, is dying a natural death within our waters. So when it comes to sustainability, I don't think that we are the aggressors. I don't think we are people who need to step back and hold back our fishing activities. Somewhere along the way, I just think that a large number of all the coastal states went unrepresented. I also feel that the voices were not heard simply because some of us did not understand the importance of the IOTC. We recognize the importance of the IOTC because together, each one of us sitting here have signed an agreement in 1996 where cooperation and egalitarian or equity was essence of the cooperation and what held the agreement together. The IOTC, the philosophy that it was set up was to manage tuna and tuna-like resources. They're highly migratory, as all of us know, and they're straddling fish stock. They move from exclusive economic zones of one member state to the other member state and across the high seas as well. The IOTC, which owes its origin to the United Nations law of the sea and of the species that fall under its management purview, are the global commons, like the oceans themselves and the ozone layer. They are our inheritance. And as someone said, a poet I read some time back in the regional language, you know, there is so much that we received from our ancestors. We need to start worrying what we are going to leave the generations that follow us, what inheritance would we be leaving them. It's roughly translated into that. And that worry is something that each one of us sitting here on the table has. Ideals are lofty. The objective of the IOTC is lofty. We are on the right direction. We think correct. We are together for the right mission. However, it's about time we started looking at the processes. We started looking at the detailing. We started understanding whether it needs a little more democratic. The manner in which we approach needs to be more democratic, is what I like to. More so because besides the fact that tuna provides nutrition across the globe, it is also commercially lucrative. We already have reached a value of 11.38 billion in 2017, $11.38 billion. And there is a study by the International Seafood Sustainability Foundation that except for skipjack tuna, all other principal tuna stocks are facing varying degrees of threats around the world. There is also a study by the IMARC services which says that during the period 2018 to 2023, we're expecting that the global commercial value of tuna as it is fished will rise from the current $11.38 billion to $13.75 billion with a CAGR of about 3.2%. Now, are we talking about a constant upward growth of production, which may not be sustainable? Do we need to look at areas that we've not hitherto looked at? I leave that to all of you and to my colleagues who are here, both on the dais and sitting there representing the member countries, as to understand how can IOTC establish a level playing field? How do developing countries who have a majority of artisanal fishermen who can barely take their boats outside the territorial waters, leave alone take those boats out to the EEZ and the high seas, how can they in any way compete with ships, which I have seen one, which short of being called a factory, I don't know what else to say, which somewhere we need to look at the fishery resources that we have in a more democratic manner. Maybe our objectives need to widen to include gender mainstreaming, to include poverty eradication, to include supporting those who are owners of, who are coastal states but are not able to even get us, more than a sort of a subsistence catch. Since its evolution as an RFMO under the FAO umbrella, IOTC has faced many challenges, from the simple scientific problems to issues of stakeholder ownership. We have all worked shoulder to shoulder to tackle these challenges. We've come a long way. Do we need to look at a different role? Do we need to see a path we've not seen before? I leave you with these thoughts. I leave you with a namaste, which is basically bowing to the goodness in every nation to understand the fact that tuna and tuna-like sources within the Indian Ocean belong to all of humanity. Equity, equitable distribution, democratic processes are things we need to look at more seriously within the IOTC. Namaskar.